Well, good afternoon. Thank you all for coming here today. It's a pleasure to be presenting to this audience. I know that you've all come from far-flung places, particularly with the weather being the way it is today. It's a pleasure to be presenting. This will give you an idea of Turkish sunshine and hopefully warm the cockles of your heart. So the strategy of Ariana Resources has not changed over the years. It's evolved to a degree. The intention is to develop a profitable gold mining operation in Turkey, and then through further resource expansion, through further exploration, develop on that and expand that footprint. We've a reputation for cost-effective mineral exploration. Our current discovery cost per resource ounce are around about $10 US. Our exploration focus, particularly now as we're moving away from the Red Rabbit joint venture on the exploration front, is to look for large deposits, porphyry copper gold systems, other low sulfidation systems, primarily in Western Turkey, but also elsewhere within the country. One of the most recent developments for the company is an investment that we've made in Tigris Resources, a private Jersey company, and Drew Craig will be giving a short presentation shortly after mine to tell you a little bit more about the work that they're doing in southeastern Turkey. Recently we've announced a further resource expansion. That resource expansion comes off the back of a couple of years of work. There is the opportunity for further drilling within Kızıltepe, but also the Tavşan property, and there's plenty more scope for resource growth. We've also joint ventured a number of the properties to other companies. European Goldfields is a very good example, and this morning we had a news release out outlining the development on that exploration. We announced the exploration results from drilling on the Ardala copper gold porphyry up in northeastern Turkey, as well as some new exploration drilling undertaken on the Salınbaş gold discovery. All very positive, so if you get a chance to have a look at that news, well worthwhile. But so we're very encouraged with that, and I think European Goldfields are too. This is a snapshot of where we stand currently, just short of £10 million market capitalisation today. Shares in issue, just over 220 million. Warrant levels coming down from previous highs, just as those naturally expired. Shareholder structure has not changed very much in the last little while. European Goldfields are still a major shareholder and, as I said, our JV partner in northeastern Turkey, holding just about 13% of the company. Bruce Rowan and also the related Starvest PLC owning about another 16-17% there. This is the structure of the board. My background, most of you know me quite well. I was a founder of the company. I have a Turkish background, very comfortable operating in Turkey. I did my PhD in gold exploration and gold geology at UWA in Perth. Also director of Genesis Resources, which is listed on the ASX. Michael Spriggs, who's not here today, our chairman, very experienced mining company chairman, and latterly a PR consultant operating primarily in the mineral resources space. Michael de Villiers, who is here, just around the corner, acting as our bouncer. You can speak to him later about some of the other companies that he's involved with as well. A very experienced board. William Payne, the latest director to join us, providing all the numbers input. Current projects, our focus for some years now has been in what we call the Western Anatolian Volcanic and Extensional Province, geologically akin to the Basin and Range Province in Nevada or thereabouts. It's a volcanic province dominated by occurrences of low sulfidation gold, silver systems, porphyry copper systems, porphyry copper moly gold systems, a very prolific mineral province. And in fact, Western Turkey is the source of King Croesus's wealth. Our focus area is what we call the Red Rabbit project, which is between Kızıltepe, that point there, and the Tavşan sector. We've currently got about 450,000 ounces in JORC. Beyond that, elsewhere, the European Goldfields JV area, and I mentioned just earlier the Ardla copper gold porphyry just up on the near the Georgian border, with further discoveries being made. Exploration projects, we're continuing our exploration work in Western Turkey, and I'll explain that in more detail later. And we've made the investment now, just last week, in Tigris Resources and looking at new opportunities in the country. So basically we're sort of packaging Turkey up. I think we are very much the go-to company in Turkey. Western Turkey, we're handling all of the exploration there. Southeastern Turkey, that's Drew's job. And Northeastern Turkey, European Goldfields. Project highlights. Just last year we produced our first gold in trial mining. Produced just 387 ounces of gold, had that processed at the Etigümüş silver processing plant. Really just because we needed to move those licenses into early production. We then commenced a scoping study that demonstrated where this project could go to, producing at about 150,000 tonnes per year. We then moved on into RC drilling, defined an increased resource, 233,000 ounces, and we now have the feasibility and environmental impact assessment underway with our joint venture partners, Prosea. That JV company is called Zenith Madencilik, or Zenith Mining, and Hakan Göğenç at the back, the general manager of CH Consultants, the mineral processing and consultancy arm of Prosea, will give a very short outline of that company and its capabilities. So this is a quick overview, satellite image over the top of the Red Rabbit JV area. Many of these blue licenses shown here are now part of what we call the Red Rabbit JV with Prosea. Kızıltepe is our primary focus. This is the focus of the feasibility study and the EIA initially. But we're also looking at the potential for other areas like Kepez, Karakavak, and eventually onto the resource at Tavşan. A lot of our exploration, regional exploration, is being undertaken in this area now, and Francis Vidin, who's with us now, our exploration geologist, is in charge of much of that work. Happy snap of the immediate project area. This is Arzu South, where the bulk of the current resource lies on Kızıltepe. We also have a small resource at Kepez, and the intention is to truck any satellite resources down into a plant to be established just in that location there. Now looking down on the vein field at Kızıltepe, as I mentioned, Arzu South is where the bulk of the resource lies. That photograph was taken from that sort of direction. We also have resources established on what we call the Banu vein, Derya vein, and Arzu North. There's also the potential undercover rocks to connect Arzu South vein to the Arzu North system, and some preliminary exploration test holes in that area has suggested that the Derya vein system does connect through into this area, so there's good scope for further resource increases in time. We've also got some inferred resources now established on some of the other subsidiary veins, which is a good start. So this is where the resources currently sit. In terms of overall figure, there we have it at the bottom, 447, 591,000 ounces, including the Tavşan sector. If we're just looking at Kızıltepe, it's about 233,000 ounces gold equivalent. Silver is rich in the deposit, adding about a gram per tonne gold equivalent. And you'll see that much of the current resource is in measured and indicated. All of that measured sits within the currently defined Whittle optimized pits at $800 an ounce. The veins in that direction. There's scope for a further resource growth, as indicated in this area beneath cover, and also down dip on the extension to certain shoots of high-grade mineralization in that area. This is an infrastructure plan, preliminary at this stage, but it really provides the essence of what we're intending to do. A photograph over the vein field. Basically, that photograph is taken from this direction, looking this way. So Arzu South, what we call the main pit area, would be in there. We're planning to establish the waste rock dump in here, and the tailings dam just tucked up out of the way there, so it doesn't stick in anyone's eyes. Waste rock dump to be established in forestry areas, tailings dam the same there, and the plant tucked in close to the main pit there at Arzu South. Now I thought it would be a good idea to talk through the JV structure that we have with Procea. We've established a 50-50 JV with Procea Construction Co., with Procea earning into 50% on expenditure of $8 million of their money. Once they've spent the $8 million, they'd have earned into their 50%. The purpose of the JV is to target 30,000 ounces gold equivalent over a mine life of greater than 5 years. The first phase of the joint venture is to focus on the feasibility and the environmental impact assessment, and there's a budget of $1.4 million for that phase, with management control resting with Ariana, or rather its Turkish subsidiary. Beyond phase 1, as we move into phase 2, the remaining $6.6 million from Procea will be allocated, and that will be used for construction to commence on the property. At that point, management control would then move to Procea. The capital cost estimated from the scoping study that we undertook is $25 million. So actually, we're looking at raising the differential for Zenit Madencilik between 25 million and 8. So we need to raise about $17, $18 million. Beyond that, in terms of the growth potential of the JV, beyond Kızıltepe, beyond Tavşan, we're actually undertaking exploration across the region within what we call the Red Rabbit project area. And Ariana reserves the right, but not the obligation, to sell resources into the JV company at 3 times the exploration cost. That doesn't apply to any exploration that's being undertaken on the JV licenses themselves, which needs to be budgeted for by Zenit Mining. The exploration and drilling budget for the JV licenses themselves within phase 1 alone is $100,000. We've actually done most of the drilling that we need to do, so this small budget is enough to bring us into the end of phase 1. In terms of an exploration overview of the project area around Kızıltepe, as I said, Kızıltepe is our main focus here. You can see a lot of the work has been undertaken there. Kepez, we're going to draw a small resource from Kepez and truck it down to Kızıltepe. But you can see also that we've got some other prospect areas which we're really quite excited about. The Umurlar prospect area, lots of high-grade rock chips at surface, but no further work at this stage. Karakavak, a similar vein system to Kızıltepe. A lot more work can be done there. Further resource drilling and exploration drilling in those areas will help add to the total resource base for the Kızıltepe sector. In terms of immediate exploration targets, we undertook a geophysical survey over the entire prospect area. We finished it last year. We did the first phase 2 years ago. But what this has shown is a number of highly resistive bodies, notably here, here, and here, that lie on the general vein trend. Arzu South vein sits here, so this is where our resource lies. Arzu North sits there, so the other part of the resource lies there. This is under cover, or what we call cap rocks would be a better term. This is what really needs to be tested as longer-term underground potential. This vein as well, completely untested, but we know it's there. We can see some vein floats in that area. We also get some geochemical anomalism at surface. This is the Banu vein here. So as a project update, we've finished a lot of the exploration work that we need to do at this particular stage on Kızıltepe and Karakavak. We've completed the JV agreement with Procea Construction and completed the scoping study and the environmental scoping, so we know where the project is going, what the framework of that project is going to be as a lead into the feasibility. Environmental scoping has shown that we have no major hurdles in our way. The resource drilling was excellent. We converted pretty much all of the inferred resources into indicated, so we've got a very robust resource of measured and indicated. As I said, this is good to go. And we've now, through Procea, completed preliminary processing plant designs as part of the feasibility study. And in fact, With further metallurgical test work, we'll be able to move those very swiftly into final designs. So all of that work is currently underway. In terms of our further regional exploration, which we feel is an important part of the way that Ariana Resources needs to grow in Turkey, we've focused on further exploration within the immediate Red Rabbit project area and also within Western Turkey as a whole. We're also looking at specific opportunities elsewhere in Turkey. We've completed a GIS-based epithermal prospectivity model. That's a lot of gobbledygook, to be perfectly honest, but what that really means is that we've created a geological framework, an understanding that we can relate to our other exploration data that helps us determine where the best possible locations for new mineralisation may lie. So we can target our exploration into those areas more carefully at lower cost. And that's yielding very useful results for our reconnaissance work, which is now completed phase 1. Basically, we're completely revamping the way exploration is being done in Western Turkey. This is all new stuff. We've generated new target areas. We've got 16 anomalous target areas just within the Red Rabbit project area and surrounds. We've followed up a number of those targets, and we're now waiting for license auctions to see if we can pick up some of those key license areas. Phase 2 is currently underway, basically expanding all of that reconnaissance exploration work over the rest of Western Turkey, or rather the prospective part of Western Turkey. So that will be completed around Christmas time. So that will throw up another bunch of targets, I have no doubt. This map has come down with a case of measles, but basically these pink dots are individual sample locations, just to give people an idea of what we're doing. We're collecting samples from all around. These are bleg samples primarily, but with follow-up rock chip samples, etc., where necessary. So our base of operations around Kızıltepe, we're exploring the whole region. So the opportunity presented by the company, well, I think over the years that we've been operating in Turkey, we've demonstrated to people that we've got a management team that delivers, and delivers pretty much without fail. When we set ourselves an objective, we go out and we do achieve it. Yeah, there are delays sometimes, that's to be expected, but we always find a way around things. And I think that's one of the key aspects of the way that we as a company do business in Turkey. We just have a better understanding of the environment in Turkey. I'm half Turkish, the team are all Turkish. The only outsider is Francis, but he speaks fluent Turkish anyway. So, there's a really good understanding of what needs to be done in Turkey and how it's done. So we've got very good economic and geological foundations for our prime projects, as you've seen, our Kızıltepe and Tavşan projects forming the basis of Red Rabbit. And in our partners, Prussia Construction Co., we've got excellent partners, and they've got the same drive and ability to achieve and to deliver two objectives. With our market capitalization of 10 million, I believe we are undervalued, but as I've demonstrated, we're a company that does deliver. The opportunity is real in Kızıltepe, and the opportunity to grow this company is very real, especially with a partnership like ours with Prussia. This is an opportunity to create a regional miner, gold miner. So in terms of looking forward, that slide is very much self-evident. You can read that in your own time from the printouts that you have. But our intention is clear. We're intending to become the next gold producer in Turkey, and feeding in further exploration and resource growth into that. Before I move on to handing over to Hakan of Prussia, thank you very much for your time.